Chair. Michael, I'm really pleased to see, to hear you say about the collaboration with the ETBs. And that is the way forward, is to do that, to use both premises. Now, I did welcome the capital funding that was available to the ETBs, and I hope that will make a big difference. Just because one of the biggest challenges, we don't have the workshops, we don't have the space, we know that, and we have a huge backlog. And it's going to take a number of years, even if it was some project was to be approved tomorrow. I've asked the Minister to look at this in terms of speeding up the procurement process and what we need to do. Such is the urgency in terms of workforce planning and what we need to achieve there. So I hear very much loud and clear what you're saying in terms of the capital investment that's needed, but we need the proper collaboration as well. And I want to see the same thing. And I spent yesterday afternoon in Castlebar, ETB, and the really good work that they're doing there. But you can see from the premises, like, it hasn't been invested in for years and years. But I'd like to see the same collaboration between the Atlantic Technology University and that as well, and I think that's the way forward. So I know you would have the full support of the committee in terms of that and hearing what you're saying there. I want to just ask the apprentices, how early in the secondary school cycle do you think that people need to be aware of the apprenticeships and the opportunities that are available to you? I mean, is it first year, is it second year, is it third year? What stage do you think the intervention needs to be? Because sometimes I feel it's too late by the time they get in to get exposed to it.
I would say first year, because just based on my experience, because of all the trades subjects we got to do, we got a sample of them in first year, and then you had to pick about 3 of them that you wanted to continue. But when you were going into them, you got, I'd say, a month's maybe worth of experience in that, and you were moved on. But if we got the opportunity to know, if I continue this subject, this is what I could possibly do, then I think that would help. Because if we started off, they show us a subject, you like it, you take it on. But if we could know what we could continue on and do from that subject further, then I think that would be really good. Because, like, for example, home ec, it's seen as, oh yeah, you just do cooking. Okay, I'm a chef, I am biased. But there's, for example, we do a lot of financial work in home ec. We also do a lot of sewing. So there's loads of jobs that could come out of that. But when they go into that 1 month, they make a curry and they're like, okay, all I can do from that is a chef. So if it was just promoted, the different apprenticeship programs that could come from each subject, that would be great in first year, especially when you're picking your subjects.
Yeah. Great. Okay, good. And just because I do like the idea, obviously, of you and others being ambassadors for apprenticeships and getting into the schools. And Ray, how feasible is it if the proper targeted investment was to be put there in terms of covering all of the second level schools in the area? Is it doable, or does it? How much of it happens at the moment? Because there's nothing like, I learned more about apprenticeships from the 4 here this morning than I've known from.
I'd have to say probably it doesn't currently happen on the scale that we would like it to.
Yeah.
You know, as I say, we would have national champions, and we would really like to be able to send them around to targeted schools and cluster them together. And really match them. So you're getting a range of skills. You might get somebody who's in one of the hard skills, the old traditional ones, and somebody that's in one of the new ones, and send them to the school. Yeah. And they can talk about the complexity and the range of skills. And it's really important, I think, that I've said already, they're not talking to us, they're talking to peers, or near peers. Yeah. Certainly is really, really important. And
it would have to be done more than months. I would like to see a kind of a costing on that and the logistics of it, of how that could be managed right across the country.
I think there's 2 times of the year that it might happen. One is post the September event in the RDS, when it's fresh on the minds and schools are back in place for that September term. I think is really important. Yeah. And that also coincides generally with the returns of teams from competitions in World Skills or Euro Skills. And again, it's that, look at how well we've done. Yeah. And there's that, you know, as I said, the Olympics of skills, people can actually represent our country.
We're looking at student mobility, obviously, across the island, and the opportunities for apprenticeships across the island as well for the 32 counties. How feasible do you think that is? And maybe just to hear from from the apprentices as well, in, you know, would you consider doing an apprenticeship in, you know, part of it in one jurisdiction and another part of it in another, and how valuable would that be?
I think on the island, extremely valuable. for sure. And we're actually engaged in conversations with our colleagues in World Skills UK in how we can create competitions that could be run simultaneously on both sides. So that's certainly something that we have in play. I think also is the expansion of Erasmus and Erasmus Plus.
Yes.
You know, and Erasmus Plus now, or Erasmus Pro even, is very much linked across all of the World Skills members. So we're actively trying to do to link World Skills partners to Erasmus programs to encourage that transfer of skills and mobility. It's really key. Really
so, because obviously it seems a bit crazy to go worldwide and not to go to the north on our own island in terms of developing the possibilities and the opportunities there as well.
Interesting. We've had long conversations and contacts with North West Regional College and South West Regional College in the north, and they're interested in coming down and participating. We're actually asking them to send some competitors, and we get that joint training together. So very, very keen.
Yeah.
For sure, and World Skills UK are absolutely keen as well.
Good. May talk to you about that outside. Am I finished, Chair? I know you're waiting.
I'm going to quit you. I'll give you another minute. I'll get running short, and I have a couple of questions myself, and I have given you a second by the Chair.
I know you're very, very good now. Dunick isn't here. I just want to try and to get the difference between the consortia-led apprenticeships, what it means to you, say, maybe Megan, in the difference between how you're learning. So the difference between you know how you're doing your, like Mark is doing his in blocks, his learning in blocks. Are you doing it 1 day a week or 2 days a week, or?
I'm better passing over to Natalia, as I did a level 8 undergrad for 4 years, so my learning experience is totally different.
Yeah, so
I didn't do an official apprenticeship, let's say. It's through the Springboard program, which is very similar idea. So I did a full-time course in first year, but then I moved on to Springboard in second year. So then I ended up doing 3 days a week in college, and then I was working the other 3 days, and I had a day off.
Right.
And that, I think that really worked better for me than being full-time in college, because even though we physically got to do stuff in college, I knew it was like a set thing, it was a set learning structure, whereas when I got to learn my skills in college and then go out to do the job the other half of the week, you could see how that was being transferred from college to work, and vice versa. Things I learned at work, I could then use in my exams, for example. So I think that system worked way better than when I was full-time in college in first year.
Is there anything that any of you want to add that hasn't been covered here today, as this is the last opportunity for the four of you? Is there anything we have missed out on in terms that are really important?
No, I think just to sum it up, I think, as has been mentioned multiple times, I think it's just the visibility. It's getting it across. Before I even started Nationals, I never even heard of World Skills. It seems to be the best kept secret at times. So I think it's just raising that visibility, no matter whether it be through schools, employers, through yourselves, through any means possible to get it across. Because as was mentioned before, if they can't see it, they won't do it, they won't be part of it. So I think that's crucial.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
very much.